This is Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox.
And we thank you so much for joining us each and every week. It is Financial Straight Talk. Of course, we are here with the founder, president, and investment advisor of Wadadley Financial Group, Mr. Jim Fox, along with his lovely bride, Michelle. Well, let's get into it, man, because this is a very, very funny soundbite that I wanted to bring up, and I'm going to tell you why on the backside of it. But the comedian's name is Mal Hall, and he's been doing stand-up comedy for over 20 years. And he says there's one childhood memory that still haunts him here today. Take a listen to this.
When you guys were kids, did your parents tell you that it was illegal to use the dome light in the car at night? How did these veteran parents get that one around the country? Pre-internet. Did they all just call a parent, hey, tell 10 other parents this lie? Here's the crazy thing about that one. So I'm 40 years old. If you're in my car tonight after the show and we need to find something, that light is on and then off immediately. Because as a 40-year-old man, I'm still not sure if that's true or not, and I don't want to test it.
Did you have that as well as
Absolutely,
a kid?
yeah. And if it was on for 2 seconds, Dad, I remember we had a Ford LTD, and that was our fanciest car, right?
Yeah.
And it had in the back, right, the pillars, they were like little reading lamps.
Yeah.
And my dad would lose his mind if we turned that on. And I'm talking about, I'll never forget, Chris is like, Dad, I got to study for a test. He goes, you don't need no education. Like, I remember it plain as day. It is pretty funny, though.
I remember as a kid, it was the same thing. Mom's like, turn that light off. We're going to get pulled over. I'm like, pulled over for what? What are we doing wrong? I'm trying to do homework in the back of the car, or I'm trying to do a puzzle game of some sort.
Funny, man.
But the reason I bring that up is because that is certainly one of those myths that has withstood the test of time. But, there's also a lot of myths when it comes to what you do every single day. You need to save $1.5 million.
That was one of them. Yep.
Fill in the blank. Talk to the listeners about some of those myths that you've heard over the years and why, again, what you do is not a one-size-fits-all opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's so many myths, right? There's so many things, and I want to ramble through them, but in reality, I only have 10 minutes, right, to knock this part out. And this is a fun one, right? Yeah. So I go long on things that are boring, but let's start with you hit the ball out of the park with the $1 million number, right? It's not even on our list, but I have people that come in, and I'll never forget, man. I had a guy come in, he got laid off from work, and he was distraught. He was like, I didn't get to the $1 million. I don't know what I'm going to do, Jim. I didn't get to find out how much he had in the beginning. I'm like, well, we'll work through the numbers, man. It's a math problem. We'll see how it works. Old boy had $880,000. All right. Now that's great. That's great. But the important thing wasn't how much money he'd had. How much money does that money need to generate for him to live on? Bro, he needed $1,300 a month.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, you got about $480,000 too much.
Right.
And he goes, I should have retired earlier, right?
Yeah.
So there are all these things, and I don't know if it's, media that does this, radio shows like mine that create these weird moments that say you need these things. Politics, the Social Security one. Man, if you listen, Social Security's good. They're taking Social Security. They're taking Medicare. They're taking this. Listen, I do believe that for my children, Social Security is going to be a rough story, okay? And I believe for your children, oh my God. But do you really stop and think, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are over the age of 60, what's going to happen if a politician votes to cut Social Security for you guys? Political suicide.
Sure.
It's not going to happen, right? Now, is it in trouble? Yeah, but it's always to kick the can down the road, right? Healthcare, right? Healthcare is insanely expensive for some people and absolutely no issue for others. And what I mean by that is it's like the luck of the draw, right? You don't know. So you don't have to freak out over healthcare. Yeah, it's good to have some ideas, but you don't have to. I have clients go, I got to figure out where to get $400,000 from. I'm like, for what? For healthcare. Why? Like, let's use the money for fun stuff. The 4% rule.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I have so many people that come in and use the 4% rule. And for those of you that don't know what the 4% rule is, it says that if you take 4% out of your investments on an annualized basis, you will basically continue to have growth in your portfolio and living on the interest. So you'll actually have growth, right? Well, here's a key problem to that. You need to make 4%. Okay. So, earlier in the show, we talked about between January of 2000 to January of 2013, right? And how that was a really weird, bad point where the markets earned $0, right? 0%, right? Went down, went up, went down, but never made any money. Do you know what the annualized average return of the S&P 500 from 2000 to 2020 was? Any idea? What would you guess?
9%.
Right? That, 9, 10, 12.
Yeah.
That's what 8%, right? It was 3.96.
Wow.
So over those 20 years, the 4% rule, I guess it did work, but barely until you figure that you have to pay taxes on the money that you're taking out, right? So the 4% rule only works if you're getting those really good rates of return, right? If they're not, we have to fix where our investments are at. It's like one problem. Is it Shrek that said an ogre's like an onion? Every time you peel one layer back, there's another, right? That's like what I have to deal with. Probably the one that I'm going to finish up on and spend the most time on is that you're going to spend less money in retirement and you're going to pay less in taxes, okay? I kind of added two of those into one.
Sure.
I'm going to help you. I'm going to help each and every one of my listeners right now. If you are thinking about retiring, and unless you're super high income earner right now, okay, unless you're super high income earner, the likelihood that you're going to live on less money in retirement is almost a mathematical zero.
Wow.
Okay, because almost everybody I see across the board, they sit down and they come in, and by the time we kind of figure all these things out, they're making the same, if not more money in retirement. Now, because Social Security is taxed, now I'm going nerdy on you, okay? Because Social Security is taxed a little differently through provisional income, they're actually going to pay less in taxes than they did before because earned income is taxed differently than other income, right? But the point of it is that these are just things that people believe are real. Like they believe in this. They believe that the markets are going to make 10.1% rate of return. And yes, I can statistically show you that they do. But what happens if you're unlucky and you get in that 2000 to 2020 range? You need to know that exists. And you go, well, that only happened one time in history. Actually, it didn't. It took 25 years for the market to recover from the Great Depression.
Wow.
Am I saying we're going to have a Great Depression? Absolutely not. But what I'm trying to say is that we need to have plans. We need to understand that we can't live in a world of myths. And yeah, my neighbor, Social Security drives me crazy because it's the hardest thing you could possibly do. Right? It's absolutely insane. And people will go across the street to their neighbor and go, hey, Bob, when did you take Social Security? That is not a Social Security plan, okay? You don't ask your neighbors. You got to figure these things out. And I think it all comes down to this. It's a lack of relationship. Okay. I get it, guys. I don't want to give the cashier at Office Depot or at Home Depot my phone number when they ask for it. You know, Kevin, you do the same thing. What's your email? You really don't need that, right? Why? Because you don't want to be sold anything. You don't want to be bombarded with stuff. People don't want to come to see financial advisors because my industry loves to bombard people, try and sell them things, trying to do this. I get it. I understand it. I absolutely hate it myself. But the reality is you need to have somebody who understands your situation, your plan, your goals. And the only way you can do that is to build a relationship with somebody. I am probably 95% relationship in my office. What do I mean by that? I am either a very likable person or a super irritating person. You have to decide that yourself.
Okay.
But what I'm not is a yes man. I do not tell you what you want to hear. I tell you what I think. I'm not going to say what I think is right, but I will back what I say to somebody with mathematical facts. And when you come in and you sit down with me, my job is simple. And I'm teaching my team to do this as well. Everything we do is based on non-emotions, methodical, and mathematical approaches to retirement. We don't look at taxes and go, ooh, Donald Trump's good, or ooh, Donald Trump's bad. Because to be honest with you, I don't care one way or the other. I care about what are the policies, how do they impact you as a retiree? Because the one thing we do know is it won't be a Trump presidency forever. We don't know if it's Vance. We don't know if it's Mr. Rogers. We don't know who the next one is, but they're going to want to change stuff. The relationship with your advisor is the most important thing that you have. That is what we focus on every single day. I know that I have clients that have been with me for almost 30. I can't even believe some of these people gave me money back then, okay? I mean, some of my old-time clients, I'll never forget. I love Charlie and Debbie to death. When I left their house, I called Michelle and said, they gave me $100,000. And we joke about it all the time. But these people know that it's the relationship that matters. Somebody who's in the corner fighting for you and fighting with you and going through the ups and the downs, because Everything you deal with in life are going to have highs and lows. And our job is to make sure that we stabilize those highs and lows. What do I mean by that? That could be investment returns. That could be emotional issues. That could be health, right? How do we navigate those waters as clearly as we possibly can? There's no magic to it. It comes down to having a relationship and understanding stuff. Listen, I'm going to warn you ahead of time. If you don't like hearing just the blunt truth, if you don't like hearing somebody give you a professional, real opinion, don't come to me. I'm telling you not to call. Think about that for a second. Please do not call my show and please do not come to my workshops, because if you can't handle someone being upfront and honest with you and tell you the way things should be and the way things should work for you and your family, I'm not the right fit for you. I'm not a yes guy. But if you're sick and tired of the people that sit on the fence and sell every time you call them, you should buy this, you should buy that. All right? If you're sick and tired of that and you want someone who's just going to break it down and be honest, tell you exactly this is what you should do, this is exactly what you shouldn't do, this is your opportunity to pick up the phone and start a relationship potentially with somebody that can really help navigate these waters for you for the next 20 and 30 years. All it takes right now is one phone call. Pick up that phone, give us a call. 321-414-7526. Again, 321-414-PLAN.
Yeah, maybe you have followed some of these myths. Maybe you've built a plan around that many years ago and you'd like someone to help you provide a little clarity when it comes to sifting through some of those retirement myths. Jim Fox and the team at Wadadley Financial Group, they're just a phone call away. Again, folks, you want to get on his calendar? That number is 321-414-7526. That's 321-414-PLAN. The website, once again, is Get FST. It's what you're getting a whole lot of on this week's show. Stands for Financial Straight Talk. GetFST.com. Well, Jim, I'm glad to see your blood pressure has come back down to a normal rate. And before we run out of time on this week's show, sir, the floor is once again all yours for the final word.
Thanks, Kevin. Well, guys, every week, Kevin and I say the same thing. We know that you have tons of options when it comes to getting financial information, and we're just honored to be one of those resources. So like you said, if there's anything we can do, pick up the phone, give us a call. We're standing by to help you out. But with all that being said, on behalf of myself and Mr. Kevin Mack, I want to thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Financial Straight Talk.
Thanks for listening to Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox. To learn more, visit getfst.com.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Wadadley Financial Group. Wadadley Financial Group is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Wadadley Financial Group are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. Wadadley Financial Group is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any government agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Wadadley Financial Group.